Yo, what's good? Everyday Superpower signing in. I'm gonna give you some game, alright, from the get-go. From the get-go. You know what we do here. We learn about non-verbal communication, attraction, dating, understanding people purely through observing their subconscious behavior. Down in the video links, from what I'm aware, depending on when you're watching it, there should be two links, yeah? One link into a playlist, a YouTube playlist that I have curated, which has video by video by video, deep dive analysis on all, for the most part, of the unconscious non-verbal behavior you will see in your day-to-day life. So understand the dictionary of non-verbal communications by clicking that link, and then the other link will link to my Patreon as to where you yourself will watch alongside me real dating situations, as to where I will break down and give you the information I see before me in their communications that you'll be able to reapply in your real life, and it'll stick with you forever, and you'll be able to read people like that, and no other person is going to be able to give you that information, right? So, moving forwards, I'm going to give you some game. It's going to be a simple principle, but what I want you to do is understand that everybody cheats. That's a bold statement, right? I know that it would come across as bold, and I'm not saying that in a way you might hear elsewhere. I'm saying if you prime yourself to understanding in the perfect situation anybody will cheat, then it frees you, it makes you a more confident, less clingy individual, and it will enhance your relationship. Okay, so no woman is going to want a needy man, because you yourself have to be independent and have to be able to go out there and hunt, and you need to have choice external to the relationship you're in, because how can you show your loyalty if you have nothing going on outside? If women don't give you interest, or if you have no other options, if the relationship goes sour, she's going to start thinking she's the problem. Because why have I chosen this guy? He's unattractive, clearly. You get where I'm coming from? So what I'm saying is, understand that everybody cheats, because how do you think you're going to fare compared to a multi-billionaire who can provide her the life of her dreams from the get-go, who can give her everything she's ever dreamt of? That might not be enough. She might be honourable and say, you know what, that's not enough, right? So tell me what the weak chink in her chain is. There is one, such as there is one with you. Oh, I would never cheat on my partner. All right, well, how about if cheating on your partner with one particular individual will give you everything you've ever dreamed of? What if you have the once in a lifetime opportunity to achieve, attain, receive, and certify anything you've ever wanted? Would you do it then? I'm not speaking on behalf of myself, but what I'm doing is putting into perspective that at some stage there would be a breaking of the perimeter of the boundaries that have been set as far as cheating is concerned. You and your partner aren't going to get along 100%, 100% of the time. So what happens when you're only getting along with each other 90% of the time, right? Someone might sneak in that 10%, and for you to understand that and accept that is only going to make you more powerful, that you're not always going to be perfect. And if they decide to choose somebody other than you when you've had a fallout, or when, sexually speaking, you've been too tired to, sort of really please her the way she wants, or if psychologically speaking, she's just acting up, because we're all different and we all have we're not perfect. So if we're not perfect, there is always an excuse, there is always a gap to fill, there always is a chink in the armour as to which it's not going to work, yeah? Beyonce and Jay-Z, nothing had ever happened, right? Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce first and foremost, and Beyonce would cheat on Jay-Z with you if you had something to offer which made sense to her that Jay-Z couldn't provide, regardless of him being a billionaire, regardless of him being having the status, regardless of him being the creative artist he is. Do you see where I'm coming from? You just need to find that. So you will free yourself in just accepting the fact that nothing is a given and you can't expect people to be faithful for you 100%. And that can be verbally spoken in relationship. If I don't trust you 100%, that means you can't go out of your way to crush me. You know I'm not crushable, and you know that I'm independent enough to move on respectfully and understandably, given that things move on. I'm not weak in that regards. I'm an independent individual and people come and go. I understand that. Yes, I do want to be with you because you're my person. I love you and I want to spend my life forever. But I would be naive to say I will spend forever with you. On my behalf, I want to. Yeah? But I can't tell you as a different person, as a completely different person, an alien entity, regardless of how long I've been with you. I still don't understand you to the depth of your soul, right? Not even you do. Not even you understand half of you, right? I can't control you. So I believe that you have the potential to cheat on me. Up until then, I'm going to love you forever. Obviously, if you did end up cheating, unfortunately, I'm going to have to leave you because I can't allow you to do that again. We've spoken on if they will do it once, they will do it again. Pattern recognition. If somebody has it within them to do you dirty once, they have the power within them to do it again, regardless of what they tell you, regardless of what you believe. They've done it, they've proven it. There you go, full stop. That's their character. That's the perimeter, that's the boundary they've set for you. You know? So, if you cheat, unfortunately, we're going to have to break up. Now, that allows them to know that you're beyond comfortable because you're not living in a fairyland. They know very clearly that they have the autonomy to do whatever they please. If anything, it's comfortable to exist in a space with their partner that they know they have some degree of freedom and they're not on lock and chain, ball and chain around you. They're not a slave to you. That's not a comfortable relationship. And paradoxically speaking, if you did continue to enforce, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that, when shit goes west, they're going to do it just to spite you. Isn't there anything sweeter? It's the Eve biting the apple from the tree. There's nothing sweeter than going against the rules and regulations that have been set. Danger and darkness and anything alike is incredibly seductive when it comes to sexuality and acting out. So when you leave it in a middle ground and state, you know, you have complete autonomy of what you want to do, but respectfully, if you choose to do that, we are going to continue. That leaves you both in a lot more of an acceptable and responsible position as to you living in a fairyland, either denying the fact that they have the capabilities of doing so or sort of enforcing the fact that they can't. Because if anything, that's only going to push them into the arms of somebody else. Right? So when you just take a moment to accept under the most extreme circumstance, anybody would cheat, right? In order to better their life and for you to understand that, or whether, you know, just to fulfill some void, whether it be within their childhood psyche that exists within them, or just to fulfill some sort of material motive or so on and so forth that might influence them and drive them to make that decision. If you just understand that there is a potential that somebody will cheat you no matter how much you love them, you find yourself more free. Because you as a man, you're not a cheater, right? You as a respectful man, you don't cheat. If you want to move on to other women, you respectfully break up the relationship, say I want to see other people, right? Because that's what an honourable man does. I'm not into this, nonsense that other people talk on in regards to cheating men and how it's fine and stuff like that. A cheater is a liar, and a liar has no space around a person like me. I need honourable men around me. So you as a man understand that there may be certain situations as to where you might cheat on your partner. Now, this is being spoken on completely disregarding the influence of drugs and alcohol and so on and so forth. A lot of women like to have a drink every once in a while, and if they don't, imagine if you had a big fallout and her reaction to that was to, go and buy a bottle of wine. Now, with social media at her fingertips and all of the men that will be communicating with her outside of your conscious awareness, look, she just doesn't bring it up to you purely as why should she? But you understand that men will be doing so because you are a man yourself, right? You'll have done it yourself, maybe in the past. In complete disrespect to the man, who cares? A lot of men find pride in breaking down relationships. Let me tell you something about myself, right? Psychological speaking, I've not been around many successful marriages as a youth. I don't respect marriage like the next person might because I've not seen it exist in a positive mind. I've got no problem engaging with a married woman in a particular way, which a lot of people would set up boundaries and say that's wrong to do. And don't get me wrong, it is wrong to do, purely as men can act violently in reflection of you overstepping that boundary. So it's not a smart thing to do, right? It's disrespectful, purely disrespectful. But other men are communicating with this woman who's just fallen out of her boyfriend for a split second, for half of a day, and now she's drinking. Okay? Loosening her boundaries. She's responded to the man. She's engaged by giving him a response. That's one yes. In sales, you build up yeses, a ladder of yeses, and it becomes harder to say no as you continue saying yes, 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 yes. Continues responding. And before you know it, she's sent an erotic image to that man. Does that classify as cheating to you? If it does, she's then cheated. So, what do you mean nobody will ever cheat? There's always a circumstance. There's always a weak moment. Nothing is ever perfect. Everything comes with balance. And you need to be there central consistently to know that everything is in balance. Because if you add too much pressure on one side, it's going to flip on the other side and it's going to do you wrong. And obviously, you find out she's cheating, you move on respectfully as a man. You don't lose your nonsense. You understand it and you take it as you will, because it won't be crushing to you. How many people have you been around that have been cheated on? Have you ever been cheated on before? Thing is, it happens no matter who you are, right? It can happen no matter who you are, and there's no shame in that. But there is shame in pretending like it's never going to happen, because that's incredibly egocentric, and you need to pull your head up from the sand, as you are both autonomous creatures working on biological hardwiring that we don't even understand ourselves because it works outside of our conscious awareness. Alright? The primitive, the ape within us works outside. It works on autopilot. We have a lizard that exists within the stem of our brain that works our internal organs that we don't even consider since day one. Something's got to keep us breathing. Something's got to keep our lungs from going. Something's got to keep our kidneys from working. We don't consciously do that. The conscious thinking human part of our brain is incredibly subtle and small in comparison to what actually drives us. So be a realistic person. Be a pessimist, yes, but don't allow it to provoke negativity in your life. Everyone will cheat, and when you accept that, you'll have a flourishing relationship because you will relieve yourself of the chains and the stress that exists below the surface. Because even though you tell yourself and themselves that nothing can ever go wrong, you know that there's always a potential and a possibility, and that undercurrent is going to find a way to manifest itself through a negative energy and spirit elsewhere in your communications and through your psyche. So be accepting and be at peace. That's some game. I'm signing out. Peace.